Well, I'd like to tell you today about the true state of psychiatry. It's not very good to look at, but perhaps you should. Uh, for instance, middle aged women, postmenopausal, in deep depression. In the old days, electroconvulsive shock treatment would only be considered, that is, considered as a last ditch effort. In other words, if this person was so clinically depressed that they might harm themselves or others, then it was indeed indicative as a course of treatment. For middle aged women, housewives, postmenopausal, and postnatal shock treatment. Oh my goodness. I met this most wonderful woman just by chance, an acquaintance, no more. And she was going through a series of 16 weeks, 3 times a week. That's every other day for 16 weeks. The Jarvik electroconvulsive, uh, the gadget that blasts all those, the electrical knife into your brain. The brain, that's how you identify yourself on an everyday level, at least the vast majority. And so this is going on with increasing levels. Uh, in the Veterans Administration, they're coercing relatives of patients and patients into electrical convulsive treatment. I'll leave links so you have some scientific material to look at when you think of electroshock treatment. It is very cutting edge science, according to them. You run a electrical line through here, just direct into the prefrontal cortex, and the only difference is you haven't used a scalpel. This is happening to housewives, to mothers, to sisters. This is happening to veterans in droves today, March 3rd, 2022. And once a person's exposed to this, you know what happens? You get the jolt, you wear your clothes, you lay out on the table, they put a IV in to put you under. That's how it works. And then they do their little deed as you're undergoing the anesthesia. It's very technical these days. Scientific. The art medicine is an art and not a science. It is dependent upon the practice of the science to perfect the art. It says that in the practitioner's handbook, along with a lot of other things, the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm, and Big Pharma you watch on TV every day. Now they're advertising antipsychotics, pawning them off as antidepressants. Ask your doctor, Lutuda. Now they're even advertising for the side effect medication, the adverse side effect medications that are caused by the neuroleptic antipsychotics in the first place. So now you've got two sets of adverse reactions while they're just pushing them and fucking on you. They think you need a pill to control yourself. They think you need something outside of yourself controlling you. Pharmaceuticals are just that. They have, okay, let's talk some more about today's state of art in pharmacology. Do you realize that a different, a varying, with one exception, drug from the same one we've been using since 1967? Only different variations of the same molecular pattern. No difference, they're still using drugs from 1967 and calling them state-of-the-art medicine. There's atypical neuroleptics. There's typical neuroleptics. Neuroleptics are antipsychotics. The Zine family, the Doan family, the Dole family. Then there's an interesting side effect that these major neuroleptics have on the individual. And they say it's rare, but I don't think so. I've witnessed it a lot. And others is a phenomena called akathisia. You see, you're pounding into your mind these toxic chemicals. Usually, like in the Veterans Administration, they'll give us a cocktail. They say, hey, the magical cocktail, all your troubles go away. It only makes it worse. You know why? Because it dulls, it inhibits the function of the prefrontal cortex, which is where our executive function occurs, logic, cognition. It's what makes us different from the primates that roam the earth besides us. That's why we are Homo sapiens sapien, not them. It's because of the prefrontal cortex. Just because they don't do this shit like they did in the old days and jab a ice pick underneath your eyeball into your skull and, wave it around to tear up the tissue. Now they're more finesse. Science is advanced. Check it out. Jarvik ECT. Google a picture of the gadget. It's just a little box. It looks no bigger than your TV box with the leads and whatnot. And there's an oscilloscope, real fancy, so they can use that as a guide. Now, cutting edge science is advertising magnetic plates. We're going to take the place of electroconvulsive therapy, and we're going to reset your thinking with magnets. So they've got this thing, that puts electromagnetic pulses. And if you've got any curiosity about electromagnetic pulses, Havana syndrome, the things these people in the embassies are experiencing, the microwave bullshit. The symptoms are almost exactly the same as Havana syndrome. You don't like to hear the truth, do you? You're comfortable in your prestige and your power and your financial wherewithal. I gotta tell you something. You ain't gonna last. You come out here into the world, to the streets, the cement jungle, the soldiers like me. One day you're gonna be experiencing a dose of your own medicine. How'd you like 25 milligrams of Haldol in your coffee?